Well, nobody's getting up here. If you look around, we are on top of a hill. You can see there's a bunch of trailers and RVs way down below. We're probably like maybe 400 or 500 feet up, and nobody would dare to come up here unless they, of course, had an off-road trailer. Today, I'm going to be walking around this off-road trailer. This is the MDC XT16HR East West. The HR stands for hard roof, and the XT is extreme terrain. The box is about 16 feet long, and of course the East West is the bed configuration. There's another model that's also a 16-footer, but it has an island, and that's a north-south bed, and this is the East West. I'm gonna be doing this video a little bit different than what I usually do some of my videos, in the sense that I'm going to break it up into segments and talk about each different section of the trailer. But I just wanna walk around it really quick so you can kind of get a layout. This window area right here is the bed, the head or the foot of the bed, depending on which way you like to sleep. So in the front area, you have the east-west bed. You'll see that on the inside in just a little bit. Of course, if you work your way around to the driver's side of the trailer, you'll see that there's another window, and this is the bed, either the head or the foot of the bed, depending on what you want to do. Over here, we have the booth, and this is a dinette booth area that turns into a small bed, and I'll get into more details and specs. If you walk around here, we have the bathroom, and this is actually the toilet. This has a beautiful bathroom. This trailer really is perfect. It's ideal for a couple, whether you're a young couple, an old retired couple. There is that booth that will turn into a bed, so you can have maybe a guest, a small guest, a child, a grandchild, or a dog, whatever you want. You can turn that into a nice bed for a small guest. But it's ideal for a couple, this trailer. And you're gonna see why with the bed configuration, and also the bathroom in the back is amazing. The ladies are gonna love it. If you come around to this side over here, you'll see this is the window that goes to the kitchen. Before we dive in, I just want to say thank you to the MDC group. The guys out in Australia, they came out recently, and we took this unit off-roading, did some crazy testing. We were down in Moab. We took this actual unit that you see right here, has already seen some crazy off-roading, and nothing on it has broken. Like, everything is working on it. We now have it up on top of this hill. We've been in it all day long, prepping it for the video, and it is such a beautiful trailer. I haven't spent a lot of time in this trailer myself. I took the 17 family out for over a week, camped in it, and I was just so impressed with all the details. And one of the things I'm going to point out a lot in this video is that the owner of MDC, he goes out and uses the trailer. This is the trailer he was camping and staying and using. And when you're dealing with people that use the trailer, it creates a different experience for you, because users, they tend to just pay a lot of attention to the details. And as I go through this tour, I'm gonna point out a lot of the details. And I think that's really important for you, the buyer, and the owner of the trailer. So let's get into it. The first section that I wanna get into is comfort, because this trailer is very, very comfortable for a couple. I'm gonna show you why. Okay, here we are inside the East West. As you can see, we have a very nice booth area where you can easily sit a couple. You could even fit a small child right here. Just a little bit ago, we had two guys here, but it was a little tight. Now, moving back here, something that I really enjoy about this booth area, if you reach down, there's a little lever, and that brings up a footrest. This is not a seat to sit on. It's just to lounge, to kick your feet up and enjoy your time while you're out camping. Of course, while you're lounging, you might want to kick back and, on a rainy day, you might want to watch some TV. And so sitting right here from across you, you do have the TV in the kitchen area, which is nice to be able to enjoy and relax. This is your bed. And the reason why we say it's comfortable, because it's an inner spring with a pillow top. It's 9 inches thick. And this The dimensions of this mattress, it's actually larger than a queen size mattress. It's 83 inches long by 62 inches wide. So a standard residential queen mattress is going to be 80 inches by 60 inches. So if you have a preference of mattress that you like, you could easily remove this mattress and put your own personal mattress in there. Or you can use the mattress that comes with MDC, which is a very nice, thick, comfortable mattress by itself. And also within this area, you can see the back side of it, the diamond stitching. It's a faux leather, but it has a very nice premium feel to it, kind of like what you would see in a marine boat. You can see on this, you also have your diamond stitching throughout the booth area. And you do have these leg rests on both sides. I can show you over here. You have this one right there that comes up. And then there's just two buttons underneath that you push to release it and have it drop back down. Also at your bed, you can see that there is some lighting for those late nights if you want to read. Also above your bed area, you can see they have these Sirocco fans. There's a 3-speed fan on this, and you also have a timer that you can set up so they can run for a couple hours and they'll automatically shut off. A lot of people worry because they're all open if they'll hurt if their kids stick their finger in it, and they don't. They have a nice little rubber mat and they'll stop immediately. But these do move a lot of air, and there's a lot of options to move it around and just adjust the direction that it's going, whether you want it on you or going in any other direction. Moving from the bed area, I want to go down to the booth. As I mentioned earlier, ideally, this is for a small child or a pet. But I'll show you how this booth is made into a bed very quickly. So I want to show you how easy this is to pull down into a bed. So there's two levers back here. You just clip, and then down here, you're just going to push this button, and that flips up like that. It comes off the wall and latches down right there. Of course, you can lock it in while it's in the down position. And then there's a cushion that comes with the trailer, and this goes right perfectly onto the bed. So the measurement of this booth is actually 5'6". So obviously, like I mentioned already, it's for a child or an animal. But the cushions are just over 4 inches thick, and it's very comfortable, very plush. So if you wanted to, you could just put this down and make it into a giant couch area, and you could throw some pillows back here and be able just to lounge around and watch some TV with a few people. And you can have the whole family or some friends and kids come and lounge in here. Some people could sit on the bed, probably 3 people sit right here, and you can watch some movies. Obviously on a rainy day, the weather's nice, go outside and have fun, go camping. So there you have it. That's the booth. Really easy to use and operate, and that's what makes this trailer so comfortable. From the fans to the beds to the booth. I want to now move over into the bathroom area. Usually I wait for the end for that, but I want to talk about that right now because since I'm on the subject of comfort, the bathroom is quite comfortable. So I do want to talk about that, but go into some of the details of the bathroom while I'm in there. So let's head over to the bathroom and check that out. Coming back into the bathroom area, I do want to point out a few things. I love all the walls. They have a high gloss fiberglass veneer on the walls, and it just is really easy to clean, but it also just makes the trailer feel very bright. In the main area, you have some white, two-tone white and black cabinets in the kitchen, but then you come back into the bathroom and it's all white. And I think this is nice because it makes it feel larger. And the bathroom is very large. I mean, I'm a big guy, 260 pounds, 6 feet tall, and I have a lot of space in this bathroom. And I want to showcase a few different things because it's really important. We usually generally do a soap test in the shower, but I want to show off this toilet. And I call this the leg spread. How can you spread your legs while you're sitting at the toilet? First off, while you're doing your business on the toilet, make sure you close the door. Nobody wants to see that. There is a latch right here that you can press, and then up here This is a pretty nice heavy duty latch that you pull down, and then of course you shut the door. Now, a few things to point out. That just added about an inch of space on this side, so I feel like I have a lot more room. You got your little toilet paper holder, and this right here is to prevent the toilet paper from rolling while you're driving off-road. One thing that I want to point out is you have your cabinetry or your drawers right here. Now, if they had extended this all the way back, this area would feel kind of cramped, and if you need well, when you're going to the bathroom, if you need to like clean yourself, right, it would be kind of really awkward and tight. But see this area down here, there's a lot of space, so you have arm space to be able to clean yourself. And if you're left-handed, you have a lot of space over here as well. Is this too much information? You know what they say, the best thing about owning RVs is when you go out camping, you talk about all your bathroom habits, because everybody's got to do it and they got to dump it, and it's just something that you talk about quite frequently when you're out RVing. And inevitably, when you're in this situation, it sometimes gets smelly. And of course, we have a vent fan right above us. And for yourself and everybody else in the caravan or the camper, we recommend you open this fan and turn it on full blast, especially if you're doing your duty. And then also you have a nice little light right there as well. So lots of little touches and details. So we do have an option where we can upgrade this to a Fantastic or Max Air Vent fan. And that will probably move the air probably 5 times more than the current fan. The current fan's great and it's moving the air. I can feel it right now. But if you wanted to do that upgrade, we'd love to help you here at ROA. So let's head on over to the shower now. Excuse me, are you cameraing while I'm in the shower? This shower is massive. You might actually be able to put 2 people in the shower. Not that you would ever do that, but you could if you wanted to. We have a Fantastic vent fan above us. We also have lights above us, and we have a very nice shower right there. And it adjusts up and down for short people all the way down to this position, or for tall people all the way in the upper position. The actual height from the shower pan to the roof is about 6'5". Outside of the shower, you are about 6'6". So for you tall people, you got a lot of headroom in this trailer. Over here, I do like that there's a place to store some stuff and also throw a towel in here when you're not using it, so it can dry. Also, just throw wet stuff in there. Hot and cold, obviously. I'll get into some of the appliances in a later section. But one of the things that's very important when you're in a shower is we always call this the soap drop test. I have a little box of something right here, so I'm going to just drop that on the ground, and I'm going to see if I can bend over and pick it up. Wait for it. With ease. No problem whatsoever. So it does pass the soap drop test. And moving out of the shower now, I want to point out a few other things in the bathroom, and then we'll move on to the next section. I want to point out, number one, just towel racks. Oh my goodness, I cannot tell you how many trailers I've seen over the years that don't even have towel racks, and you just think, why? And then you even have a soap rack right here where you can put a bar of soap. You have a nice basin here to brush your teeth. Also, you have a nice stainless steel backsplash with a mirror. So if it gets dirty, it's easy to clean down. And then this thing has incredible amounts of storage. You just have tons of storage throughout. I'll go into more of the storage in a bit, but these are all drawers, and you have storage up here. You have storage back here. And then over here, you have your USB, a 12 volt, and then also you have 120 volts, so you can be able to plug in a blow dryer or a razor, whatever you need. And then of course, good lighting throughout the trailer, throughout the bathroom. So over here you have that nice space for maybe towels or whatever you need. But there you have it. That is the inside bathroom. Now let's go outside and check out the outside parts of the bathroom that you need to know about. And also there is an outside shower. Okay, as we walk over to the other side, I will showcase your outside toilet cassette. Now that toilet, like I mentioned, is a cassette. And if you open this up, you can access it right here. And these things are super cool. I really like them because they give you the ability just to go to a lot of places out in the wilderness. And you don't get stuck. If you fill this up, you don't have to grab the whole trailer and drag it into town to dump your trailer. You can grab this and just take it with you. And of course, it has a nice little wheel. This is nice is because it is actually approved carry-on size. If you do want to travel with this, this will fit in the overhead bin in the airplane, so you know. And you can take your crap wherever you go. So there you have it. Of course, you also want to secure your crap and you don't want people stealing your crap. So you do have a key to lock up your crap. So moving back over this way, over here, we have an outside shower, and this has hot and cold water. And you can look up here and you have a little slide in track right there. And that slides in and it comes with a canvas and a shower room with poles. It also has a clear opening right here, so you can have a light and you can shower at nighttime and see what you're doing. It has a little clip that holds up the shower as well. Very cool. You know, some people are like, why would I want to do that? Say you're at the beach, right? And you're all dirty and sandy or muddy. You don't need to go inside and track that into your shower. You can shower out here. Kids, grandkids, dogs. This is a really convenient. Also, you won't fill up your gray tank. So you get the water will just kind of run out on the ground and you don't, fill up your tanks and have to go and empty them. So there you have it. That is your bathroom. So let's head on to our storage options. We have a lot of storage in this trailer. You have outside storage, you have inside storage. Since we're outside, let's focus on the outside storage. Right here, we're on the driver's side. This is a lockable latch. And one of the things I want to point out with this storage compartment door is the triple seal system. You have a gasket right here, you have a gasket right there, and then you have another rubber gasket right there. Also, this lock is called a cam lock. So when you actually close it, you'll see this, it will suck in and create a seal, a better seal. So when you go in and you close it, it makes it nice and tight. That will make it so you don't have dust entering into the camper. This is a pretty large storage compartment. You could easily fit a generator in here if you wanted to. There's space for that. Also, I want to point out the back side of this, or the front side of the wall, is carpeted. So that's just adding a little bit of an insulation barrier. Above this area is your bed. So it just creates that little bit of insulation. And those are just little attention to detail that I really, really appreciate. And also that, of course, that light, so you can be able to see what you have in the dark. Now, moving over to the front area, there is some storage. As you can see, it comes standard with 20-pound propane tanks. But if you want, you could easily put 30 or even 40 pounders. The sky is the limit on this one, baby. You don't have anything restricting you from going up. Over here, you have jerry can holders, so you can put extra fuel or water. You know, in Australia, you have, I think, long distances between gas stations. In the United States, we don't as much. So some people will remove these jerry can holders and then they'll put some strapping points and, maybe put a generator up here. You got a lot of space to store things in this area, firewood even. Okay, moving to the passenger side, we have a front storage compartment. This right here, these are vents. So this area is for a refrigerator. It's designed for an outside refrigerator, but there is an inside refrigerator in here. And if you're a couple, I don't think you would need a fridge out here unless you really wanted to. But I want to point out a few things as we open this up. This latch right here is just super robust. You can see the metal that's holding this up, and this comes up, it's spring loaded. It goes up and it rests on these two tabs. And then you have a lock right here. So this thing is a double lock. Locks there and here. And then you pull this out, and the whole track that this is on almost a 1/4 inch thick steel track. And you pull this all the way out. Of course, the unit comes with a bunch of goodies, tire chocks and all kinds of stuff. But this tray is designed so that you can put a refrigerator in here. I think we were out traveling with a 65-liter fridge, but it's actually designed to fit a 95-liter refrigerator, 12-volt fridge or freezer combo. Or you could potentially cover this up and just put bins in here and use this as a tray to store extra goods. Now, as I shut this up, I do want to point out a few other little things. Is you see that carpeted area again, and then there's also some space. These are some poles for some of your annex and your bathroom, but you can store some other things here. And then over on this side, you can see you have your 12-volt plug for your refrigerator or your Anderson plug, which we would recommend getting the Anderson plug. And then also you have a little area, a little clip where your awning tool is sitting, and that's to be able to manually crank in or out the awning. The awning is electric, so it will work off of a push of a button, but if you were to ever have an issue, there is a manual override. With pretty much everything on the trailer, you'll have both options of electric or manual override on stuff. As we close up the outside compartment, we'll go inside and check out the inside storage, but I just want to touch some attention to detail. This is really cool. It's because a lot of people are like, what do I do? Where should I, what are some things that I need to know? And the MDC, between your owner's manuals and a lot of stickers all throughout the trailer, they talk about a lot of things that you need to do. So when you buy a trailer, it's really smart for you to check all of these things. It says 12 months, you should check your alignments, do your greasing, torque your lugs. Just kind of gives you a little bit of a checklist of what you can do during the ownership of your trailer. And I think that's really smart. It just shows that they care about their customers. They don't just, build a trailer and ship it and send it and hopefully you can figure it out on your own. They've put a lot of thought and detail. And you see that all throughout. You see all these aluminum tabs that tell you on how to operate things. You see this over here, it talks about, torquing your lugs. And also over here you have, to be able to pull this out to have some ventilation if necessary. But those are just some little details of why you can see MDC cares. But let's head inside and check out the rest of the storage. Okay, moving in, the trailer has an abundance amount of storage. Want to point everything out. Over here you have your overbed storage. These will actually allow small little travel packing bags. You get those for your suitcases. You can put your socks, your underwear, and throw them up there. Surprising how much stuff you can store in here. Look at this beautiful veneer. This is a Fakata plywood. It's a very common wood that they use in Australia for cabinetry. It's a lot lighter than standard plywood, but you can see everything has a locking latch, so that pops up, you twist it, opens up, and you have gas struts that hold the door up, and then you also have soft close. So once it closes, you can lock it in place. You have all the storage along here, and then you come over to here. These storage doors are pretty deep, kind of hard to tell, but you reach in, it goes to almost to my elbow. So good amount of storage right there. And you have that all the way along here. So you can kind of get an idea of, look how deep that is, because that kind of goes in right there, a little bit at an angle, but good amount of storage, and of course that soft close. Let's head over to this area, right into the bathroom. This right here is just a control panel, so there's no storage back there. Coming into the bathroom has a massive amount of storage. So this little guy right here opens up, and you probably put your toiletries and stuff in there, and then these open up and just give you abundant amounts of storage. You come down here, you have lots of drawers. Now I want to point out all the kitchen storage, because there is a lot of kitchen storage. First of all, I want to point out the cabinetry. I love the two-tone. I love how they went with the black below and the white above. It's just cool. It's unique and different. But you can see you have very deep drawers right here. So you'll be able to put a lot of stuff in all of these, and every single one very deep and all locking. And then moving over to here, you have a massive, massive storage area down here. More storage than you'll know what to do with. And then over here, you have two more where you could put some frying pans and you just see how deep they are. This one's not quite as deep because the wheel well is right there, but they utilized every single space for storage. And I like that bottom one is important to me, is because I feel like a lot of camper places, they wouldn't utilize that. They would just put a fake cabinet door over it, because they would have to make a different size cabinet. These are the little details that you see when you're dealing with people that actually use their trailers. Coming up here, this is our upper storage, and these are all very deep. You can see all the way the whole length of the cabinet itself. And the last little area for some little storage is right here behind the TV area. Put some spices, other little condiments that you might use while you're cooking. And that is the storage on the 16 East West. Let's now move into our kitchens, because there are two. There's an inside and an outside, and I want to showcase the kitchens. Moving to the kitchen area setup, I want to show you first the inside, and then we'll go outside and show you the outside kitchen. First off, you do have a sink with hot and cold water, and this sink is a great sink, but we do actually have a modification where you can add a deeper sink here at ROA, and it has a cutting board over the top of it so you don't lose your counter space. Obviously, this has space to utilize as a cutting board to be able to cut stuff here as well. Also want to point out your outlet, so if you do have a blender or a coffee pot, you'll be able to plug it in here with ease. Moving to the oven and stove cooktop, you have a 3-burner cooktop. 2 of these burners are 6,500 BTUs, and one of them is an 8,000 BTU cooktop, so it's a pretty good amount of heat output. The oven below you is a just under 1.8 cubic feet. So you probably can't get the largest turkey in there, but if you found a little one and cut maybe part of it off, you might be able to do Thanksgiving. Otherwise, it's ideal for, a pizza or some cookies. It's just nice to have an oven. It always feels better than a microwave when you're cooking. Some people don't like microwaves. Some people do. And if you do, we could probably add one for you. And the nice thing about stovetop or oven is that it operates off of your propane, opposed to a microwave is going to run off of your inverter, which will kill your battery pretty fast. Now above the stovetop, you have the Furrion hood vent combo with a light and a fan. So you'll be able to keep this place ventilated while you are cooking. Now, if you do want to utilize this as counter space, this does come down. This is not a cooktop. You do not cook on this glass. You are able to utilize this space for just prepping or making food or throwing some storage out here. And of course, I do want to point out the refrigerator, and the refrigerator is right here. One thing I want to point out is I love how they have a double latch. So they put this little latch on, and that clips away, and then you have a latch on the door. And this latch seems pretty good. I don't know why you need a second one, but I'm sure MDC's experienced where they thought that was necessary, and that's why it's so important to buy a trailer from somebody that uses it, because those are the types of things that they have found out. I'm sure some customers have asked for that. But this fridge is incredible. This is a 12-volt refrigerator. It is very deep. If I reach all the way back there, it's like the whole length of my arm. The nice thing about these fridges versus like a propane fridge is they're a lot deeper. The propane fridges have a lot of stuff on the back of them that make them shallow. You also have a freezer, and this thing works great. I had like ice cream in this during my trip, and it was too hard. I had to turn the temperature down a little bit. It's 152 liters, the total capacity of the fridge and freezer. The freezer itself is 18 liters, or it's 5.3 cubic feet. This thing is actually also very efficient. It runs anywhere from 4 to 7 amps. When you crank it up at first, it's going to use a little bit more, but during the night, it's going to die down as it gets cold and use very minimal amperage. Now let's head on outside to the outside kitchen, because that's one of my favorite things about MDCs. Okay, here we are on our outside kitchen. Let's open this thing up. Pull the latch. There is a little bit of space on each side. You can see they've actually stored in the poles right here for your annex and your bathroom stuff. But this will come out and it locks in the out position. And this is a beautiful kitchen. First, you have a leg. It feels pretty sturdy, but it can never hurt to put this underneath. And down here, there's actually a spot for it. And I've dealt with a lot of off-road trailers and campers with slide-out kitchens that don't have spots for their legs. And this post kind of slides up and it fits perfectly in there. And then it goes all the way to the ground. And then you have a nice turn knob to be able to make it nice and sturdy and put some pressure onto that leg so it's not all on the tracks. Now, so many little attention to detail, and I just want to keep on pointing that out. Number one, you have straps that hold the kitchen in place, right? On both sides. And it's just little, like if you're off-roading, obviously bouncing around, this thing is just going to be hammering inside there if you don't have that. With that on there, it doesn't even move. That side does, right? So look, when you clip it on, it doesn't move. It's like very sturdy, very taut, as Josh would say, very taut.
We can keep it nice and taut and ready for use.
But when you pull that off, if you didn't have that, you would just notice it would just be rattling in there. So you flip this around and you have a piano hinge. It's like you don't need a piano hinge. You would probably be fine with just two little hinges, but they put a piano hinge on it, extra. And then you have this nice windshield. Also, these little rubber grommets, they go around so they protect this metal so it's not just hitting everything constantly. And then you have a little MDC bottle opener for you, you drunks out there. And then over here we have another clip that holds this thing down in place. This is a dry rack or food rack, whatever you want to use it for. It's pretty awesome. Now, little details. See these little levers right here? And the cool thing is on this side, on this one right here, you can see it comes out and that holds it in place, so it slides right in there. I've never seen such attention to detail on little stuff like this. So when you come up, this actually will, these little levers right here, you have to pull this out and that pulls that tray down. And then this one right here, and it slides over, brings that down. These little guys clip in right there. And now this thing is pretty sturdy. And there you have it. La-da! And down here you have, of course, your sink. And this is a hot and cold water sink, which a lot of outside kitchens don't have hot water. In case you didn't know, some of them only come with cold water. It is also plumbed in, so you just close the kitchen up and you're done. You open it up, the water's all plumbed in, you just turn on the water pump and you're ready to use that sink. Now, to be able to hook up this stove, you have a little gas line right here. And this is the only thing that you have to do to be able to start cooking is you can open this door right here to be able to see where it's at and access it, but it just drops down through a hole right here. And then you can plug it in right there, and super easy to plug in. And then you can start cooking. Speaking about cooking, this stovetop, you'll lift that out of the way. Do not cook on the glass, otherwise it will explode or break. You cook on the burners. They have nice little platforms for your pots and pans. But one of the things that I really like about this stove is it puts out a good amount of heat. This burner right here puts out 9,800 BTUs, and these ones right here put out 6,300 BTUs. And you might say, oh, so that sounds great. It is great, because most outside stovetops that are similar to this, 2-3 burners, the most common one, the large burner, puts out 5,800 BTUs, and the small ones put out, I think it's like 3,700 BTUs, which is crazy. That means the large burner puts out less heat than the small burners on this one. So the very first time I was out with MDC, we went on an adventure with them. I was out cooking, and I think I put in a dozen eggs to make some breakfast burritos. And I'm like, shoot, they're cooking too fast. I had to turn it down. And That has never been an experience that I have had on outside stove tops. You know, if you get a griddle or a grill, those cook usually pretty fast, but usually these stove tops are not that good. This one is definitely by far the best that I have ever used. Now, in front of the kitchen, you have these storage cutlery, or you could put a tablet, iPad, whatever you want, I suppose, but that's designed for cutlery. And of course, you close that down, and then you have another storage compartment right here, which we should have done in the storage section, but we figured we'd wait for the kitchen section. So there you have it. This is your outside kitchen on the MDCs. These are one of the best designed kitchens on any trailer that we've ever had over the years. I mean, we have some actually incredible, currently the lineup of some of our trailers have amazing kitchens, and they're all different and unique, but I really like this compared to some of the other Australian design trailers or the stuff coming out of Australia. This one is definitely my favorite. Also, with the outside kitchen, you do have a little prep area, or maybe this is your finishing space where you cook your steaks and then you have to, you know, set them out somewhere for everybody to come and eat. But your plates, your, you know, buns or whatever you need, you have a little bit of extra storage space right here. Also very cool is this window goes into the kitchen. So somebody on the inside of the kitchen, they can be in there cooking. You can be out here cooking and they can hand you things through the window and you can set them right here. We were doing that while we were out camping last. So it's just a nice little convenience. And there you have it. You have your outside kitchen. Of course, some people say, why do you have an outside and an inside kitchen? Which I think is a silly question, because if it's freezing outside, it's nice to cook inside. If it's raining, it's nice to cook inside. But don't worry, MDC has you covered, quite literally. Above your head, if you are out cooking and it's raining, you can, by the push of a button, you can make the awning come out and you can be able to cook in the shade if it's sunny, or in the rain if it's not sunny. Because if it's raining, there's not sun usually. Hence the awning for the rain, right? Type of thing. Anyways, shall we just be like Steve and just sit here and wait for it to open? As the awning opens, I do want to point out something really cool that comes with this unit is an annex. So I mentioned this is definitely a trailer for a couple and maybe a guest. But if you really actually have a family and maybe they're just getting older and you want to bring them along with you, or you have a whole nother living space and it's that annex. So that annex will hook up to this entire awning and it goes all the way around and makes it so you still have access to the refrigerator or the outside storage area, and then you can be outside cooking in a fully enclosed area. The annex is really cool, and it is included with the trailer, which is just unbelievable. You can see that it actually goes into this track right here, and it just slides in, and then these clips right here clip on, and so it drops all the way down to the ground. And then you also have a floor that goes down, so it will keep you out of the dirt and the mud, and then you can actually put ropes and tie it down and keep it nice and taut. And now that the awning is out, the measurements of it is 13 feet 8 inches, so it almost goes from end to end of this trailer, and also covers the kitchen, which is very nice. It also has legs that come out that are hidden in here, and they go down. So you have some points where you can stake in and be able to drop this down. And if you want, you can create a pitch on the roof so the water can run off one way or the other. Okay, let's head on over to the door, and I want to talk a little bit about this door. You may be thinking, what do you mean talk about a door? There shouldn't be that much to a door, but these doors are pretty awesome. This is an Aussie Traveler door. And of course you do have a latch that will fold it open if you're out camping. This thing has one of the most heavy duty screens I've ever seen. So when you close this thing, this is all metal. You have a dog, you can put him in there and he's not going to bust through that. Also, what's really cool about this is it locks. So you can lock the screen open and leave this portion of the door, and you can go out for a hike and leave the animals inside, and you can turn on a fan and get some nice cross breeze. Also, This door has what's called it's a tri-mark door. So what that means is that it has 3 latching points. So if you push this handle forward, you'll see it latches here. You have a latch here and a latch up here. And what that's gonna do is when you shut the door, it's gonna lock here, here, and here. And that's just gonna make it super tight. I've seen this on trailers in the past where if you're going up a twisty, windy road, sometimes there can be a little bit of flex and the doors will pop open. There is no way this door is ever going to pop open. This is a very, very legit off-roading door. And then of course, as you walk in, you do have a grab bar and it has a blue light, as well as you have some manual steps that you can pull out to be able to step into the trailer easier. Now let's head on over to the other side of the trailer because I want to talk about some of the components. Okay, I want to talk about the components. Right up here up front, we have our propane tanks, and the propane tanks obviously control the stove, the oven inside, also the stovetop outside. They also control the furnace. This is a Dometic. It is a single outlet right underneath the bed. We'll show you inside. And that is a 12,000 BTU furnace, and it works off of propane. Makes the trailers very warm. We've been traveling in them in 20 to 30 degrees for over a week with the MDC crew, and nobody complained about it not being warm. Moving over here, we have the Truma, and this is the AquaGo. So it is an on-demand 60,000 BTU water heater, and it's, like I said, on demand. So what that means is when you turn on the water, it will sense the pressure and that thing will turn on, and then you'll start getting hot water, and it's infinite amount of hot water. Obviously you'll run out of your water tanks eventually, but you can take very, very long showers with this. If you are at a campground where you're plugged into city water, you'll be able to take an endless shower. Right here we have obviously our city water connections where we can hook up directly to the city and have it bypass the water pump and just flow through the trailer, or you have your fills right here as well. Okay, let's head inside to finish up the components. As we enter inside, you can see we have the control for the heater, and you can set the temperature, and this is the thermostat controlled. We also do have an upgrade where we can put a digital thermostat on there so you can set it a little bit better, but this does work quite well. Right here you have your outlet for your heater, and this will blow down and warm up the entire trailer. Right below the heater you have your Truma AquaGo, and that's how you're able to turn that on to get to your hot water. Now let's move from the heater and the water heater up to something cooler. And that is your air conditioning system. This is a Dometic Penguin 2, and it's a 13,500 BTU air conditioner. And there you have it. That is your furnace, your water heater, and your air conditioning. That is the major components for your off-road trailer. Now let's head into the electrical components that control your trailer. We got underneath where the booth is normally. We've removed everything so we could easily look at this stuff. Coming down here, we have a bunch of things going on. Electrical is done very nicely, very clean. Everything is done very nicely. You can see they got it zip tied. They put all of the wires through this corrugated plastic. Also, Steve let me know that during the manufacturing process, through the aluminum studs, they put rubber grommets, and then they put everything through a corrugated plastic. So while you're off-roading, things aren't going to be rubbing and over time shorting out and creating shorts or electrical issues. Everything is nicely fused throughout here. So here we have the BM Pro. A comparable system to this would be the Red Arc system. From my understanding, they're kind of competitors in Australia. This is made in Australia. This will control your shore power coming in to the trailer from a plug or an outlet. It also controls your solar, so it has a built-in solar charge controller, and then also your batteries, your lithium, and also your tow vehicle. This will allow up to 800 amps of lithium. We do have this massive lithium battery here, and this is a 200 amp hour lithium battery. You can see these massive cables. Everything looks very well done. You just see all how they just zip tie everything together. We've had over a dozen trailers now in our facility, and everything is put together just like this one. I've been really impressed with everything that I've seen. You also have a smart shunt, and so that will actually monitor your amps in and your amps out, so you can monitor it like live and on the spot. Over here you have your battery mounts. I just want to showcase this. It's just really nice. They have pads in between everything and a very robust bracket that holds this battery in place. Okay, moving over to this side, we have the Ames, and this is a pure sine inverter with the auto transfer. This is a 2000 watt continuous with a 4000 watt surge. You can see they also have ventilation in here. So if you're cranking out some heat on this, it will keep that area cool. Of course, this inverter is going to operate all your outlets, and you do have an outlet right here. You have a 120 volt outlet right here. You have one in your kitchen area and your bathroom area. So you'll be able to plug things in and work them off grid. That's what an inverter is. It makes it so the things work off the grid. Coming over here, above the refrigerator, you have your command center. And this is where you're going to be able to turn on your DC outlets, your fridge, your water heater, water pump. And then above it, you have your BM Pro monitoring system, and you have your voltage, you have your output and your input. And when this BM Pro, when you actually plug it in, you'll notice a little picture of an outlet illuminates. When the solar's out, you'll see a little symbol of a sun, and so you'll know the solar's coming in. So this thing works very cool, and it's pretty simple and easy to understand. On the other side of your command center, you do have your water gauges. So you'll be able to see your front tank and your rear tank, and also your gray tank. And then you have a stereo system, and this works the speakers inside and outside, and it does work off of Bluetooth, so you can sync your phone or your tablet up to it and be able to rock and roll. Okay, let's talk about the windows. These are pretty cool windows. A lot of people ask, wait, are they plastic? Well, they're not plastic. They're polycarbonate. And these are the same things you'll see on airplanes, on yachts, on fighter pilot jets. Bulletproof windows are generally like an acrylic or polycarbonate. They're 250 times stronger than glass when they're the same diameter or thickness. So the break resistance is quite good, especially when you compare it to a glass. They are dual pane windows, which means they also have some insulation, and they're good for cold or hot weather. And they open up, they actually have 3 different settings. This is kind of when you hear that click, this stops and it stays open, and that's all the way open. You can pull this screen down, and it's a very fine screen. So little bugs are not going to be able to make it through this screen. Another cool feature about these windows is you can actually put them into this slot, and that's actually a cracked position. So you could close the screen and still have some air coming into here. Also would help with condensation. Or you can come all the way to the inner one, and that locks it in and seals it very tight. Another thing besides the screen is this part lifts up, and this really blackens out the entire trailer. And if that doesn't black it out enough, then you have these curtains that will actually block out even more light, and then you can sleep in here and it's nice and dark. You also have these nice reading lights that are able to adjust and point. If you're reading a book, you have these over your bed. There's tons of lights throughout the trailer. I love all the lighting. You have the lighting over the kitchen. You have the Furrion light. There's cam lights in the roof. Lots of light in the bathroom as well. In both the shower here, you have this rope light. It's just really, they've thought a lot about the lighting. You have this light that's over the bed, this dome light. And this thing is pretty cool. And you actually have this where, just like the main windows, you have a screen or a blackout shade. This will open up. It's like a porthole. You can actually pretty much access the roof from this. And you get up there and wipe off your panels or something, you can access that. And then you have your floor light into the stairwell. And then also down along the floor, you have these little night lights in case you can't find your way to the bathroom and get lost. You can turn those on and make it all the way from the bed to the bathroom and make sure you stay safe. So let's head outside and check out the outside light. Yeah, here we are on the top of a hill. We are lit up. On this side, we got a nice grab bar light there. Of course, you have your grab bars here. Try to wheel the trailer around. You have a nice spotlight, and you can see it's shining right on the hitch. So if you're getting hooked up, you're able to see perfectly. We are actually not spending the night, so we're gonna be towing this trailer back down in the dark. So I think these lights are gonna be appreciated because we'll be able to see the trail, hopefully. 3 lights on this side. One for your shower, one right here so you can hook up to your city water or see your storage compartment. The storage compartment has a light as well. And then this light is going to be able to give you some light to access your toilet. And then of course you have a rear spotlight in the back. There you have it. You got to back up in the dark. You got lights all the way around the trailer. Lighting is really, really good. I really appreciate all the lighting that they've added on this trailer. Okay, now I've been focusing on a lot of the beauties of the trailer, the storage, the comforts, and I know the ladies love those things. The guys, they want to know about the specs and the construction and is this a good off-road trailer? And I assure you it is. We've seen it in action. If you haven't watched our adventure down to Moab, you're gonna want to go check that out because we've put these things through their paces. But I want to talk a little bit into detail what it is constructed of and how it is made. Starting with the chassis, or the Australians will call it the chassis. It's a Q345 structural steel. That is a steel that is used in bridges and in shipbuilding. So it's very strong, very robust. MDC likes to give a lifetime structural warranty on the chassis and the drawbar. And I think the reason why they can do that is because the way it is built and also all the testing that they've put it through. They have these independent FEA people that come in and they test the structural integrity of this trailer. They call it a factor 5 testing. And what that is they've put the chassis, the entire frame, through extreme tests. And also they put the suspension through these tests. They also put the drawbar and they put the recovery chains and also the attachment points to the trailer. And they put through some rigorous testings, FEA testings, to be able to prove by a third-party independent company that this thing is built for the off-road. And they call that the Factor 5 FEA testing to truly give an off-road product and be able to feel confident to stand behind a lifetime warranty on the chassis. Another important point about the chassis is it is hot dipped galvanized. And I'm not a steel or metal person. I've not studied this, but this is how it's been explained to me. And this is what you can go on Google and you can research this yourself. But galvanized is where they dip it into a molten bath of zinc and that it adheres to the steel and it becomes a protective coat that allows it to be more corrosion resistant. If you ever go to the beach and you see a piers and you see railing, or you're driving down the freeway and you see those signs that are overhead, all of those metal posts and signs, those are galvanized, they're hot dip galvanized. And generally they'll say a hot dip galvanization will last 100 years in the harshest climates or conditions before it starts to corrode and deteriorate. With regular steel, if you were just painted or just put out raw steel into the atmosphere, it would start to corrode almost instantaneously. That's how steel will generally break down. It is very rapid and fast. These chains are massive. You can see these things. You could probably do some CrossFit with this. do some exercises, you know, like the ropes. You can be like, is that good right there? These things are massive chains. It's unbelievably, my arms are getting tired from holding them up. That's probably too long enough of a workout for me. So let's put those away and talk about the hitch. This is a Cruisemaster DO35. It's a full articulating hitch. So we'll go side to side, up and down through the washes. This is really important. I always say you can't be an off-road trailer if you don't have an articulating hitch. This is going to be for your camber from side to side. This will be for your pitch up and down. Also, you have a emergency brake that you can pull and engage your actual drum brakes on the trailer when you get to camp. I would still recommend chalking them. Over here you have your jockey wheel that allows you to be able to roll this around on a smooth surface or potentially recover it if you needed to. Up front, we have our 7-pin connector and also your Anderson plug, so you'll be able to charge your batteries if you have that hooked up with your truck. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about construction and the materials. Right here you see this is an aluminum diamond plate, protective for the rocks hitting. Up here, you also have an aluminum composite material. Composite is the sandwich of two pieces of aluminum put together, and that does actually create some rigidity and structural. On the inside of the walls, you have aluminum welded studs. MDC sent us some factory footage showing us how these things are built and produced, which is pretty cool that they shared that with us so that we could see it. And in between each stud, you have a foam board insulation. And the inside wall is a high gloss polyvinyl carbonate. That's why it's super shiny and easy to clean on the inside. The roof is also a one-piece aluminum roof with the composite. The floors are actually a composite material, so there's zero wood in the floors, which is really good because if you're doing water crossings and you're getting mud or salt on the highways splashing up there, you're not going to get wood rot on your floors because of that a composite material. And obviously, if you're doing some river crossings, we're going to assume that you're off-road. So you want to know what type of suspension is this sitting on. So it is sitting on an independent A-arm suspension with a coil and dual gas shocks. These are the Tough Tracks suspension, and MDC has this as a proprietary system that they have built, and it is pretty robust. It is, as far as suspension systems that I've seen coming from overseas or from Australia or any of the Australian design trailers, this is definitely the largest, most thickest, most robust suspension I have ever seen. The shocks themselves have about a 7.5-inch diameter, the tube, so you have a larger reservoir of oil, which will allow more washboard corrugations without overheating. Our other trailers that we've carried in the past have been closer to a 5.5-inch, which is pretty substantial to have that larger shock. Also, the wheels themselves, they're a mega hub, and these have a large spindle, and also they use a true genuine Timken bearings. One of the things that I really like about MDC as well is they have a masterclass series. You can go to their YouTube channel, you can go check out their videos, and you'll see that they actually produce a lot of content for their customers, and they create a lot of stuff that teach you what you need to know about when owning a trailer and how to service it properly. Here in the US, I would just recommend, if you don't want to do your own services, you can take them down to a Les Schwab tire place and they'll be able to do that. But talking about the tires right here, you do have a mud terrain, so it's very aggressive, very good looking tire. This is a good ride, and the tire size is a 265/75 with a 16-inch rim, and they're a load range E tire. You would assume so, but you should never assume. We've had a lot of off-road trailers in the past that are load range Cs, which is not acceptable in my mind. Okay, another thing that you're gonna wanna know about the off-road is it protected in the underneath your trailer? The water tanks do have diamond plating that protects those water tanks. I actually personally, while I was off-roading it, I hit a boulder that was probably like this big, and it hit one of those tanks and the whole trailer flipped up and didn't flip over, but it was on two wheels for a second. And that tank you know, that protective body armor under there protected the tank, and I had no issues, no water leaks. So it truly is an off-road trailer. Also, if you're not off-roading and you're on the highways, you want to know how well does it tow, and it tows really, really well. While we were out with the Australians in Utah, they probably drove around 1,500 to 2,000 miles. They were pulling this unit with a Nissan Frontier, which is crazy, and they had no issues with sway. We saw them going 70, 75 miles per hour. They were keeping up with the F-150s with no problem. The Trail Assure is a system. It is up here, yeah. The Trail Assure is a system right here. This light will engage once you plug it in. And what it does is it allows that if you are on the highway and your trailer ever did start to lose a little bit of control and started to sway, that would automatically engage the brakes and straighten it out again to keep you going straight down the highway. That's a really cool system. We've installed these in the past. They can range $2,000 to $3,000 with install, and that comes included on the MDC trailer right out of the factory. Another thing that I wanted to point out on the frame is down here, you can see where they add these extra gussets. These are plates, and these just add more strength to the frame itself. You can also see this piece down here that they've added along here just to add even more strength. You also have this bash bar, and it is mounted directly to the frame itself, and they're very strong and robust. And that is pretty much it for the off-road section. I do want to point out something over here. You do have these stabilizer jacks that will drop down and they will stabilize the trailer a little bit. We learned that the Australians actually call these shagalizers. Here in the US, we call them stabilizers. And these are really an awesome system. And we actually have a upgrade with ARC where you can put these just stabilize the trailer so it doesn't wobble. But we have some jacks that we can install that almost are rated for 2,000 pounds, and they can lift up the entire trailer. So look into those. Those are very, very cool. Well, there you have the off-road section. I now want to talk a little bit about the specs of this trailer. Okay, let's talk about some specs. Right here we have a 30 amp plug, and that's for charging off of shore power. You also have a solar array. On this unit right here that's in front of me, it is actually 300 watts, but you can option all the way up to 700 watts. So just reach out to us, ask us how much is optioned on the unit, or we can order it. The overall length of this trailer is 22 feet, 3 inches. The width is 7 foot, 8 inches. And the height from the floor to the very tippy top of the air conditioning unit is 10 feet. So will not fit in a garage that's 10 feet or shorter. You'll need a larger opening for it. The ground clearance at the lowest point, which is right here, and also your water tanks underneath, is 17 inches. That's more than a Jeep Rubicon right out of the factory. So you have incredible ground clearance. And the water tanks are 42 gallons. There's 2 tanks and they're combined for 42 gallons of fresh water. The dry weight on this trailer comes in at 5,354 pounds. The GVWR is 6147. So it is easily towable by a half ton. As a matter of fact, the Australians were towing it by Nissan Frontiers. You have no problem towing this with an F-150, Toyota Sequoia, Toyota Tundra, whatever is your choice. It is pretty light for how robust it is. And the last spec on this unit is the battery system, and stock right out of the factory, it has a 200 amp hour lithium battery system, and it's controlled by the BM Pro. And there you have it, the XT16HR. This is the East-West model. So if you're looking at a 16-foot trailer, you can ask for the East-West bed or the Island bed. Those are the two 16 models that we are currently carrying here in the US. These trailers are really cool. The manufacturer also has been so cool to work with. We haven't been with them for a long time. We started, conversation towards the middle to end of last year. We met with one of the reps and we really put them through the ringer, because we've carried a lot of off-road trailers over the years. Everything from, like actual Australian trailers like Kimberly Campers and Patriot Campers, these iconic brands, to, the Chinese Black Series trailers, that are the Australian design. So we have a lot of experience with different off-road trailers over the years. Something about MDC, back when we were carrying the Black Series, I was going onto YouTube and I wanted to learn more about the Australian design trailers, and I actually happened upon MDC. This was a while ago, and I really liked what they were doing. They were teaching their customers how to use the trailers, and you could tell that they were very customer centric, and you could tell the owner was out there really supporting the people. And Steve, was doing a lot of YouTube videos teaching people how to maintain their trailers. And I thought, man, these guys aren't just about selling trailers, they're about giving a great service to their customers that buy their trailers. And I really wanted to carry their product, so I reached out to them. This must have been 5-6 years ago, and they said no. We're direct to consumer, and we're not even coming to the US. And so I ended up going with what we had available in the market. And we no longer carry some of those brands. We've moved away from them, and now we're carrying a lot of really incredible American-made products like the Pause and the Explorer, and it's unbelievable. But when MDC reached out to us, I was like, you know what? I immediately remembered all those YouTube videos I used to watch, and I got a lot of value from what they were offering to the market. And I thought we should have a conversation with them, is because they're not like the other people we've worked with. At least that was my perception from watching them over the years. And as we started talking to them and getting to know them, I was like, they're a different company. They're really, really cool. They really care about the customers. They care about, making sure people have an incredible experience. They've become one of the largest manufacturers in Australia, delivering, a lot of trailers, and they're competing with the biggest names in Australia now. And people feel like, man, the value for the quality, the construction and the build, the value that you get in an MDC trailer is really hard to beat. And that's something that's very, very cool. And I'm really grateful that we're able to team up with them. And now, after meeting the owner twice now, in California, when we first originally signed our contracts, they came out to Moab and we spent a lot of time with them, a full week with their crew, and they're just really, really neat people. I've been talking with their head engineers, and they've been sending me and teaching me all about these trailers and how they truly are just going above what is the standard, even not just in the United States, but what's the standard in Australia, even for the off-road industry. They have really gone out and really made sure that they've done more than anybody else to show to the market that they're building one of the best trailers right now in the market for the off-road, and I really appreciate that. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more, go down, click the link below. We also have other tours. We have new tours coming out every single Sunday. A couple Sundays ago, we had the 17 family come out, so you can go check that out. Go down to the link below, put in your information, and we can send you a brochure on this trailer. And if you have any questions, reach out to us. We'd love to help you. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.